We're back after a
hiatus.
Yes, 3.5-week hiatus, actually.
I had a new hip.
Yes, there we go. Connie is well on her way to becoming the next bionic woman. That's, let me see, an ankle reconstruction, 2 new titanium knees, and now a titanium hip. So
Next up, shoulder.
Next on tap is shoulder, and then we should have a lottery to see what body part she's going to replace after that. It might be interesting to know. Anyways, thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone for asking where we have been and sending messages via Facebook and some emails as well on when we're going to do the next one of these. And well, here we are. So this is a beautiful Wednesday evening here in Miramichi, New Brunswick, Canada, because we do have international viewers still from Ireland and the UK and New Zealand and Australia. So hopefully you'll join us for this one. We're going to do some songs that we've been doing for a long time, couple of original ones. Hopefully we'll get through them. And the first song we're going to do actually is one that it's being done by request. This one is for Wade. He's asked for some old traditional Miramichi folk songs. So this one is one that we recorded on our second album back in 1996, My Father's Songs.
I was 10.
Yes, and it was also featured on a Atlantic Canadian compilation CD in the late 90s as well. And we were very fortunate to share a disc space with people like Stan Rogers and the Bear McNeils and a whole bunch of people like that. It was really neat to see our music mixed in with theirs. So this is a true story. It's written by a gentleman by the name of John Calhoun. He told the story about this young man who came over here from Prince Edward Island way back in the late 1800s. I won't get into the story except to say that the song was written and it's become one of the most beloved of all of the Miramichi ballads. John Calhoun wrote the lyrics. Abraham Munn was the one who put a tune to it, and it's been recorded by more international folk artists than any other Miramichi folk song. A real interesting little aside here. There was a folk singer back in the late 1950s who heard a version of this song and was so inspired by it that he wrote a ballad of his own and was featured on one of his first recordings, and he actually took 2 or 3 lines directly from John Calhoun's song and placed it into his ballad. He went on to develop quite a following and gained a little bit of notoriety. He's a songwriter from Texas, I believe. You'll hear him on his own Sirius XM channel now. You may have for the performers out there, you may have sung some of his songs, and certainly most people have heard his songs, and those who haven't heard his songs have heard his name. Of course, I'm referring to Bob Dylan. So Miramichi folk songs have inspired everyone, including someone of the caliber of Mr. Bob Dylan. So that shows you what this song is all about. And here's our version of it. My name is Peter Emberley, as you might understand. I was born in Prince Edward Island, down by the ocean strand. In 1880, when the flowers were in bloom, I left my native country, my fortune to pursue. I landed in New Brunswick, that lumbering country. I hired to work in the lumber woods down by the Miramichi. I hired to work in the lumber woods for to cut the tall spruce down. While loading teams of yarded logs, I received my fateful crown. There's danger on the oceans where the waves roll mountains high. There's danger in the battlefields where the angry bullets fly. There's danger in the lumber woods, for death lies silent there. And I have fell a victim unto danger's deadly snares. Here's adieu to old Prince Edward Isle, that island in the sea. No more will I walk on her flowery banks or enjoy her pleasant breeze. No more will I see her gallant ships as they go sailing by, with banners blowing in the breeze. above the canvas skies. Here's a adieu to all my youngest friends, them island girls so true, and long may they live to grace the isle where first my breath I drew. The world will go on just the same when I have passed away. What signifies the mortal man whose origins are clay? My name is Peter Amberley, as you might understand. I was born in Prince Edward, I landed down by the ocean strand. In 1880, when the flowers were in bloom, I left my native country, my fortune to pursue. I left my native country, my fortune to pursue. The Ballad of Peter Amberley. Our version of it, a shortened version actually, excuse me for a moment, a shortened version of it. I believe John Calhoun's version has, the original has 10 or 12 verses, if not more than that. That was typical of a lot of the Miramichi ballads back then, because they told the story in real time about real time people. Well, as you know, oh, by the way, for the guitar players, I'm playing my old Ibanez there tonight. And I am in an open tuning, D-A-D-G-A-D, Dad-Gad, for those of you who are interested in that, and for those of you who are not, oh well. I'll be switching for the next one too. But we, as long as we've been singing together, we've also been writing songs together. And the last two songs that we're going to do here are original compositions. This next one is, again, it's based on a true story here in Miramichi about a boat who was launched in the shipyards up around Strawberry Marsh, and was a freighter, and she hauled freight during the day between Ritchie Wharf in Newcastle and Scumanak Point at the mouth of the river. Her home port was Station Wharf here in Chatham, just not too far away from where we're sitting right now. But it was in the summertime, 3 nights a week, when the ship gained her notoriety, because they would wash down her decks and polish up her brass, and for $1.50 per person, you could have a moonlight cruise. Archie McEachran's band played in the saloon that was on the boat, and in the saloon on a beautifully warm, sunny evening like it is here in Miramichi. This is going to make some people's mouths water.
32 degrees.
32 degrees, yes. In the saloon, they served ether beer for 5 cents a glass.
There was a 3-glass limit, and I can imagine why you would know that would be the case.
It was a big party boat. The captain would sail her out to the mouth of the river, and by midnight she was back at her home port here in Chatham, and next day she was hauling freight again. Well, I heard the story about this boat one night at a meeting, and I called Connie directly from, I remember I had a phone in my truck, it was that long ago. And I called her and I said, you have to hear this. And I said, there's got to be a song here. And she immediately said, fill her up with brew and have a drink or two. And you'll see where that comes into the song. An interesting part of the story of this song, of us writing this song, is that in the mid-1990s, late 1990s, CBC Television decided to record a television special down at the beautiful Imperial Theatre down in St. John. It was called Where the River Meets the Sea. And according to their propaganda, it featured 10 of the best acts in the province of New Brunswick. And we were one of the acts that was on that stage, and this was the song that they chose for the television special. The boat was called the Alexandra, and that's the name of the song. Was 1902, the day the good ship sailed. We'd work her all the day, but at night out on the bay, we'd sing our songs and dance as fiddles play. So fill her up with brew, have a drink or two, and it may be rough, so hang on to the rail. We'll party through the night, but we'll have her home by light. Raise a glass, the Alexandra set to sail. 6 days a week, for the lady toils, from spring till winter's call. But summertime is best, moonlight parties on the deck. 12 bits will get you passage 1 and all. So fill her up with brew, have a drink or two, and it may be rough, so hang on to the rail. We'll party through the night, but we'll have her home by light. Raise a glass, the Alexandra set to sail. With voices drifting through the night, well, the captain swings her home. And in the lamplight glow, last round, it's time to go. The Lady Alexandra's chatham bound. So fill her up with brew, have a drink or two, and it may be rough, so hang on to the rail. We'll party through the night, but we'll have her home by light. Raise a glass, the Alexandra set to sail. So fill her up with brew, have a drink or two, and it may be rough, so hang on to the rail. We'll party through the night, but we'll have her home by light. Raise a glass, the Alexandra set to sail. 2, 3, 4, we party through the night. Now we have her home by light. Raise a glass, the Alexandra set to sail.
Ow.
The Alexandra.
I have to remember not to swallow, sing, and breathe at the same time.
Yeah. Another interesting part of the story about us writing that song is in the early 2000s, probably around 2005, 2006. We were doing a tourism show for the province of New Brunswick up in Quebec City. And there were groups there from most of the Northeast, and we were actually the only bilingual group that was there. And we met a couple of the members of an Acadian group called La Vieille. They heard that song, and about a month later, I got an email saying, listen, we're looking at recording our new album. We're looking at, we want something with a little bit of a nautical, a little bit of an Irish theme to it. Would you mind if we took your song, the Alexandra, and interpreted the story in French and recorded it in French? Which they did, and they did an absolutely awesome job on every level. So our song, the Alexandra, is in 2 official languages now, and that recording is being sung or being played, and they're singing that song all through Europe on their tours, and have been for the last number of years. So thanks very much to the guys in La Vieille, and it's an amazing story, and it's amazing in English, and it's even more amazing in French.
And guys, if you want to take us to Europe with you on your tour, we'll sing in English.
Anyways, going to switch guitars now. Going to go back to the one that Mr. Craig built for me, and as I said, we've been writing songs for almost as long as we've been singing together, and we wrote a song back in the early 1990s. Called "Sail to the Sea." That was recorded on our album in My Father's Songs in 1996. It also became a music video, and thanks to the guys from the New Brunswick Community College animation and multimedia program, specifically 2 gentlemen, one by the name of Mr. Terry Gadsden, and the other by the name of Kevin Blair, who did an absolutely awesome job. And if you people are watching, if you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, you will find the video that we did of Sail to the Sea on our YouTube channel. So check it out. The cinematography on it is absolutely phenomenal. It was shot all right here in the Miramichi. The main, of course, location was McDonald Farm, but there were some shots that were done down the Scuminac and out of the Middle Island. And I want to assure you that for those of you who do take the time to look at that video that we have uploaded to our YouTube channel, Sail to the Sea, I want to assure you unequivocally that the 2 people that you see in that video are Connie and Paul. Because it was a little while ago, I had little, if any, gray in my beard, and Connie's hair was a little bit darker than it is now. So
Dyed, but darker.
It's kudos to that group. Well, when we wrote "Sail to the Sea," we knew that the theme was farther reaching than just with that song. And so we decided that Sail to the Sea was the first song in a trilogy that we were going to write, telling the same story but from different perspectives. Sail to the Sea is a song about working the sea and how men would go out to sea normally, traditionally back in the 1800s, and every time that they did, they left someone on shore longing for their return and hoping that they would return. And that's told from that perspective. It's told, Sail to the Sea is told from the perspective of the lady who's standing on the shore. Actually, the maid on the shore. A few years after that, a few years after we did the video, early 2000s, we decided it was time to write the second part of the trilogy. And so we told the exact same story, but we told it from the perspective of the man being out at sea. And we entitled that song, Maid on the Shore. And it was released, actually we wrote that just prior to 2000, because it was released on our third album, Dancing in the Moonlight, in 2000, in June of 2000. Actually, it was 20 years ago this month that we released Dancing in the Moonlight. Wow, 20 years. So, here's the second part of the trilogy. For those of you who are interested, we've never written the third part yet, so stay tuned for that one. But again, if you've heard Sail to the Sea, if you take the time to listen to the video of Sail to the Sea and listen to the lyrics and then listen to this song again, you will you'll pick up on some of the similarities. This is Maid on the Shore. That maid on the shore,
Maid on the shore.
Voice like a whisper calls me home. Each night as I dream I'm again in her arms, content that I never more will roam. I've sailed with the dolphin for 7 long years, lost in her wake of her charms. From far off horizons, the wind filled her sails, the call of the sea steered my heart. Soon I'll return, to that maid on the shore.
Maid on the shore.
Voice like a whisper calls me home. Each night as I dream I'm again in her arms, content that I never more will roam. The sea's been my refuge, for years my only home, but lately I'm drawn to another love. My heart now fills with longing as I look back o'er the years. I see her face in every star above. Soon I'll return to that maid on the shore.
Maid on the shore.
Voice like a whisper calls me home. Each night as I dream I'm again in her arms, content that I never more will roam. Her love is like a beacon that shines in the night, it tells me that I'll go to sea no more. The memory of her kisses, the warmth of her embrace, will she still wait for me upon the shore? Soon I'll return to that maid on the shore.
Maid on the shore.
Voice like the whisper calls me home. Each night as I dream I'm again in her arms, content that I never more will roam. Each night as I dream I'm again in her arms, content that that I never more will
Soon
roam.
I'll return to that
Soon I'll
maid on the shore.
return to that
Soon
maid
I'll
on the
return to that maid on the shore.
Maid on the shore. The challenge of finger picking a guitar to that song with a broken fingernail. Go figure. Anyways, stay tuned for number 3, the third part of that trilogy. We still haven't got it. We've come close a couple of times. But I'll tell you what, if we do come up with it, when we come up with it, you'll be the first to know, because this is the first place we're going to do it.
I think they should be seniors.
Maybe. There we go.
There.
Old people.
Old people.
We'll do an old people
Or
song.
elderly people.
Elderly, yes, because we're old.
Yeah, we're old.
In any case, that's another concert from the kitchen. We want to thank you very, very much for continuously listening to these and taking part in them in your own way. Please share these on Facebook, if you will, to all your friends. Tag your friends when you're sharing them. It's been a rough 3.5 weeks here not doing these, so it's great to get back into it. Great to see you again. Please stay safe. We're thinking about all the people here in Zone 5 of the Campbellton area who are going through a little bit of a rough patch with the COVID-19 pandemic. The rest of us here in New Brunswick are in pretty good shape. We hope to continue. Wash your hands, do the social distancing, do everything you have to do to stay safe and stay healthy. But in the meantime, coming to you live on tape from the set of the Miramichi Kitchen Party, we're Connie and Paul. We will see you again before you know it. Thanks again. Have a great evening.
Love you, Jill.